Yellowjackets Season 3 is finally over. We have just watched the finale, and my biggest question is, when is it coming back on? How long is it going to take us to get the next season? Because I think that this, without a shadow of a doubt, was the best season that they had. I think that they finally figured out their secret sauce. They finally figured out what type of show they wanted to be, and they just did that throughout the whole show. Not only did they make the wilderness part that we all loved from the beginning, all the things in the wilderness, but they did a great job making the main storyline, when they're adults, more interesting. And now I'm invested in both storylines, and that's what I like. Also, when you deal with shows like this, mystery box type shows, there's certain things you have to do, certain things that we as fans are looking for, and that is answers to questions. We want the answers to these mysteries. We don't want it to drag on forever. We don't want to wait till the last season to find everything out. And they did a great job with that, because in this episode they have given us two of the biggest mysteries solved. No more debate, no more theories. We know exactly what these two things are, and they did a phenomenal job portraying the whole thing for us. What's the deal, my people? You know who it is, the Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you with another one, and this one is Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 10, the finale. It was an amazing finale. Loved the whole thing, everything from top to bottom. Did not feel like 60 minutes. I know it was supposed to be 61 minutes. Did not feel like that. It just flew by, and they got to everything extremely fast. It wasn't like they made us wait and wait. Right from the beginning scene, we got answers from the jump, and let's get right into it. But before we do, if you could do me a favor, please subscribe, click that bell, and also hit that thumbs up. We're trying to get to 500 likes, people. Please, if you can, just hit that thumbs up. It truly helps this get spread out across the algorithm, and I truly thank you for it. Let's talk about it. So right off the bat, we see Lottie, and Lottie visualizing the Antler Queen. And when I first seen this in the trailer, I truly thought that these were going to be rescue lights coming from behind her, and that this was all just going to be a dream. And it did turn out to be a dream, but there were no rescue lights behind her. So I take the L on that one. The way they went from Lottie's dream and Lottie waking up, and then we seeing the adult Lottie waking up. Basically, I would guess that's the coroner's room that she's in, because she's dead. And then the way they have them talk and then cycle back to exactly the death of Lottie and how Lottie died. Now, I think that a lot of us guessed that it would be Cali, and that when Misty was with Walter and she started going through the phone, I knew it had to be a picture, because she was first looking at pictures before she found the pictures in Walter's phone, and then she took over. But I like the way that Mitzi just ran up on her while she was at school and basically got this girl to confess to the whole thing. And I thought that it would be an accident type situation. That's why I thought that maybe Lottie was going to grab her, and that's exactly what Lottie did do. But I thought that Lottie was going to try some type of sacrifice on her, but it didn't seem like Lottie wanted to do that. She was just trying to tell her that she's the baby. She's our baby, because Shauna lost her baby while in the wilderness. Cali is the new baby that the wilderness gave them. So she looks at Cali as all of their daughters, and that she's the next one. And not only that, that her mother is jealous of her because she's got more of the wilderness inside of her than Shauna has inside of her. And it's this right here that makes Cali go and push Lottie, and she chucked her down those steps. I mean, she didn't even touch a step on the way down, and that's not easy to do. I would think she would at least hit one, but she didn't even touch one step. She just flew all the way down, but she chucked her all the way down, and then that is how we get the whole death of Lottie explained. I like the way they did that. I also like the way she went right back, told her father, and you seen the way Jeff's been probably an MVP of this season. He's probably been one of the greatest characters the whole season, and the way he reacted and then apologized to her for not protecting her from her mother, allowing Shauna to influence her the way she did, because Cali is just trying to get love from her mother. She's not even sure if her mom actually truly loves her, and Jeff's trying to explain to her that she does have PTSD, but then despite that, you know, she does have love for her. But Shauna is, listen, all of them have PTSD. All of them are bad. And now we can ask the question, is there truly some type of stuff that's going on there that is magical? I don't believe so. I never believed that was the case, but that's what Lottie believes, and I think it's just the trauma that came back with him, and trauma can be passed down from generation to generation, and I think that's what's being passed down instead of anything magical. But all that is what causes them to take off together, and that's where we leave them two at that part. Going back to the beginning and dealing with the whole Misty situation and Natalie. Natalie smacks her around for she realizes that the whole reason that they are there is because of the efforts that she does. But the fact that she has the antenna and she believes that her and Van can fix this telephone, that she's not going to turn her into all the other girls and let them know exactly what they did, because if they knew that, then there's no doubt that she would have been killed 100%. And I think that is the reason why we have always seen Misty say that Natalie was her best friend, because Natalie looked out for her when nobody else did, because she had every right of turning her in, and she didn't turn her in for it. We got the mystery who killed Lottie. That was solved. They threw that away, and then they deal with the Pit Girl situation. Now, I know a lot of people had a lot of opinion on who was going to be Pit Girl. I had my suspicions. I know a lot of people always thought it was going to be Hannah. I told you that Hannah was way too old to play that role. That wasn't going to be Hannah. That would not be the case. But we do see while they're going through this whole card drawing that Van did rig the deck, and they were going to rig it so that it dropped on Hannah. Even though Van didn't want to do it, Ty is the one who convinces her to do so, and she's the one that gets her to rig the deck. But Shauna is the one who sniffs out that there's some type of funniness going on here. She realizes that the deck is going to be rigged, and I think she knew that it was going to fall on Hannah. And we know that Mari and Shauna never got along, so obviously she was all about it landing on her. She moves in line, and that's exactly what happens. It lands on Mari. So anyone who picked Mari, and I did pick her myself, to being Pit Girl, give yourself a pat on the back. We got that one, and I like the way the whole thing played out, the whole hunt. Why she was in the clothes that she was in. She tried to do a decoy, some type of scarecrow with her clothes while they were out there running around. Why she had to take off her shoes because her feet got stuck in them when she was trying to disrobe. They went to all that. They even went back to the cut in the foot because we knew Pit Girl had some blood coming for her foot. So they explained that whole situation. They gave her the necklace right before they went on the hunt to get him. And the reason why they wanted to go on the hunt is because they felt like they had to do a sacrifice, and even though they had killed a lot of people, they felt like in order for it to be a real sacrifice, you're going to have to care for the person, and that is why Mari is Pit Girl. And even though there was some distractions going on when it was all said and done, it was Mari that falls inside the pit, and they showed the spike come right out of the cheek, something they did not show like that in season 1, but I thought that they executed that perfectly, and they did a really good job. And I think that we do get a hint right here, because when we see Shauna try to step to Ty, we seen Ty stand right up to her. So I think that's also going to play out later on in the future, because Shauna didn't want no piece of Ty. Like, you seen it, like when Ty was like, listen, if you know what's good for you, you better back up. There was no ballsy Shauna. So Shauna knows her limits. She knows exactly who she can get away with stuff with and who she can't get. And if you mess with Ty, you're going to have to mess with Ty's woman too. So, you're going to have to go through her and Van. And Shauna's not going to be able to deal with both of them at all. And also, we've seen the last vision. They got that last vision taken care of. We've seen the dead animals, and now we know that it was a plan for the animals to be dead in order for them to be able to do a sacrifice, and that was all about Lottie having the control of that, and that's why they seen all that. So they basically made that one come true. That vision they made come true. Even though she's seen it before, they made that vision come true. The other ones that came true just happened to come true on their own, but this one was 100% due to what they did to allow that to happen. And then we seen Natalie take off. She grabs the phone while this whole thing is going on, and her and Hannah are there, and she catches Hannah spying on her, pushes her up against a tree, and Hannah tells her, like, listen, I'm one of you. I killed that guy because y'all would have killed me. I've done everything. I've eaten human flesh. So there we go. We know that at that particular time, She did eat Cody. They did eat Cody after that, and she participated in it. She admits it to right there. And then that's when we see the plan go into effect of how they're going to get out of this place and exactly how they're going to get rescued in there. Because when we see them come back and they do the feast, and again, another mystery solved, we see exactly who the Antler Queen is, and it's Shauna. So if you had Shauna as the Antler Queen, give yourself a pat on the back for that. And Shauna says specifically when she's dressing up, bring me Mari's hair. So we see that the hair that's hanging down was Mari's hair that was hanging down there. It doesn't explain why they had the actress of Hannah. Didn't explain why the actress of Hannah, why they didn't had her wear a wig with long hair. Don't know why they did that, because her hair is naturally short. Maybe just to throw some confusion to everybody, to make people think that she was going to be the pit girl. That's the only reason why I could say that they would do something like that. But they go, they have the feast. Shauna sits the throne. And Shauna, at the end of this whole situation, she says exactly what it was, that she was a queen while she was there, and that's how she felt. And not only did she feel that way, but everybody, even though they were doing crazy, disgusting, nasty things, they all enjoyed it. They all enjoyed it. And now Shauna, at this particular time, because when she comes home and she finds that her kids are gone, everyone's gone, Jeff is gone, and everything else, she goes over to Mitzi's house. Mitzi fills her in on everything, and then she goes back to her house. She realizes, I gotta start acting like I acted out back there. I need to bring that wilderness back. And they explain exactly why she gets this feeling and why she has to bring the wilderness back, why she needs to be a queen again, because she's been living this mundane life. Because we see that when Melissa did send the package, Cali had it, but Cali accidentally, when Jeff came in, dropped the letter that was inside that Melissa said she put inside there. She dropped it underneath the refrigerator. She retrieves it, and while she reads it, this is what brings all of that stuff back into her, and this is why she's going to go ham next season when it's all said and done. But going from that, we go all the way to Van. And I was wondering myself, like, what they were going to do with the body. I don't know if they cleaned up the house. That house was a mess. I don't know if they were going to set it on fire or what was going to go on with that whole situation. Had no idea, but all we see is them driving away with Van's body. They pull over to a back road, and Ty digs the hole herself, like she's like in Goodfellas. She digs this hole so well, like she's Nikki or something. Like she was able to get that hole dug. She drags out Van's body, and this chick just stabs Van in the chest, opens it up, and eats a piece of her heart. Like she's just, I don't know. I thought Evil Ty was bad. This is Good Ty, and Good Ty's eating hearts and stuff. So how bad is Evil Ty? I think Good Van is just as bad as Evil Ty. I mean, she goes in there, biting the heart, eats the heart. I didn't even know if it was a dream, because when she walked back to the car, it looked like there wasn't any blood on her mouth, and there was blood on her mouth when she was eating it. I'll take a look again in the video. I'll post the picture, but I didn't see any blood on her mouth when she came back to the car. But again, this leads to the dining room scene, and when she's sitting there in the diner, and they're sitting there, and you think that she's talking to Evil Ty. That's the way they set the whole thing up. But in the end, it turns out to be Mitzi that she's talking to, and she's basically saying, listen, this is all Shauna's fault. Everything we have been through, this whole life that we have, everything from the wilderness to this, everything is Shauna's fault, and Van is Shauna's fault, and she's going to be the last one alive if we don't do nothing about it. And Mitzi seems to be on board with it. So it may be them two versus Shauna next season. But the crazy part was Walter outside. Like Walter, there's something going on. Now, before I just thought he just had a crush on her, but the look in Walter's face when he was just sitting out there, it just seemed weird. Now, I don't believe that he came there with Mitzi. I don't think that's the case. I think he was just there. But there's something on his face that something's going on with this guy. Put it in the comment section if you think there's something fishy about Walter and he's up to something. before the episode is all said and done, even though we thought in the beginning, at least I did when I seen the trailer, that when we did see those lights from the Antler Queen, that it was going to be rescue lights. We see that there was a plan in effect for rescue with Natalie, not just Natalie, all the girls. They all had the same plan, because when they check and they think that it's Natalie, it's not. It's Hannah in Natalie's clothes. Now, I actually said that I thought they were going to do some type of switcheroo with the clothes. I thought that's the way it was going to go, but I did not think it was going to go down the way it did, that it would be Natalie. And Natalie is off on top of some mountain. Shauna's like, where's Natalie? Where is she at? And she is on top of a mountain trying to use the phone, and the phone doesn't work in the beginning. She starts to get frustrated with the phone, but in the end, at the end, the last thing we hear is, we hear you. And they do get contact. So they're not rescued yet, but rescue and help is going to be on the way. So most likely what I think is going to happen next season is that we're going to see them get rescued, but they still have a couple of things they have to clear up in there. They have to clear up the tape, right? We didn't get the whole tape situation. We didn't get that. They didn't finish that off right at all. We need to figure out how that tape gets in possession. And Hannah, does Hannah die before they get back? Or does Hannah come back and die once she's there? We don't know exactly how Hannah gets taken out. She does say that they killed her, but they haven't killed Hannah yet, so they're going to have to do something, I guess, to kill Hannah. I have my suspicions of exactly how they could pull that off without just murdering her. I'll put that in a theory video after this, exactly how that comes about. And I think we're going to get them back. When they do get back, we're going to see them inside the real timeline. But there's a lot of them that survived that we have not seen yet. So they're going to have to deal with all of those people when they get back. And I can't wait to see them do that next season, deal with these other Yellowjackets and how they get back. Because I think most likely they must have killed some of them or took some of them out when they got back, and didn't just kill them in the wilderness, but killed them in the real timeline or did something to them. That's why we haven't seen everybody. But that is how that episode ends. Again, I thought it was an amazing episode, amazing season. And I think that every episode got better. And again, this finale was great because we got answers. They answered all the questions, all the major ones that everybody wanted to know what the answer was. They gave it to us. And that's all you can ask for. You can't ask for anything more than that. And we have a couple of more that they're going to have to start filling in, the ones that I mentioned, and a couple of more than that. But besides the whole situation that we've seen, all the answers we got, they answered them. And not only did they answer them in a good way that made sense to the story. They didn't fit it in. If they would have made Hannah the pit girl, that would have been something that they just fit in there, right? They just threw her in there, and that's not good. But the fact that they did it, and it was Mari and everything, that was perfect. They did that right. They made everything come together. Have faith in these writers. And again, I'm just waiting. How long is it going to take us to get another season? Now, you think we're going to get multiple seasons, or is it going to end next season? To me, the way it's setting up, it's going to be the final season. It's going to be Shauna versus Ty, and Shauna versus Mitzi. I think it's just going to be her versus them all, and somehow they're going to try to get it, but Walter is going to play a factor in this somehow. I don't know how exactly, but he's going to play a factor. We did not see Melissa at all in this episode. Only we seen Melissa was when she got the drop on Shauna. She was choking her with a stick, and she had an opportunity to kill her, but she did not. And then Shauna just gets up and says, I knew you were boring and stuff. So we didn't see her this episode. She's still out there. They're most likely going to have to bring her back next season too. They're going to have to deal with the daughter, with her wife, the daughter of Hannah. That's going to have to be dealt with, because there's no way that crime scene that they left in there, that they cleaned everything up. I mean, they threw a jar of like jelly against the wall and everything else. How'd they clean all that stuff up? There's no way they're going to be able to clean all that up and everything. And so we're going to see exactly what happens next season. Let me just tell y'all, thank you for a great Yellowjacket season. I'll be doing a live stream with Phil, the Issues Guy. Make sure you subscribe and you click that bell for the notification, so when we do go live, you know exactly what's going on. And let me know if you like these videos like this better than just my normal review videos, if you'd rather me just do commentary like instead of just reviewing the whole thing and going from scene to scene to scene. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the room, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.